Hello and welcome to Warblog. Today we're looking at these two battles, the Battle of Qasr and the Battle of Al-Faw. They're both basically the first battles of the Iraq War, 2003. This sort of comes first and includes this battle. I did this one first and I did it wrong. I'll have to change this screenshot. They don't come from there, they come from over here, but that's sort of done, as you'll see here. And that scenario we just looked at there is that there. So what they do when they start off invading Iraq, they basically take out this peninsula. I should maybe name it. I haven't got my book with me, but it's got a name, and so I'll have to plonk that in there. But they want to take it because what happened the previous time they invaded Iraq was that they set fire to all the oil wells, and this is the oil pipelines, the sort of oil facilities. But so they wanted to basically secure these two offshore platforms and all of the oil wellheads along here, and in particular this sort of metering station. And then they wanted to take this place here. Now this is sort of an interesting map because it details almost completely one of the main problems that Iraq had in its entire history, or its entire recent history, entire significant history, and involved with the invasion of Kuwait and the invasion of Iran, the Iran-Iraq war. It's pretty much all about this, and it's basically Iraq's exposure to the sea, or its access to the sea for transport of oil. And they basically only had this. This is a deep sea. This is a deep water harbour capable of lots of things. Now they wanted to take that early on as well, because they wanted to start shipping. I mean, they said they wanted to start shipping humanitarian aid straight through there to help the people of Iraq. But I mean, they probably also wanted to do it for a lot of other reasons. But one of the important things about this section is this sort of road goes through from Kuwait. Now I thought that they came across here. As you can see, I mean, if I was to invade Iraq, or at least just looking at it from this point, I would go along here. Now, obviously, they're prepared for it, but they're probably prepared everywhere. They don't. I don't know what their rationale was. Presumably, they were less expecting an attack here, or maybe they just decided to do it that way. But basically, they wanted to clear this out and clear all of this stuff out. So that they could then, and maybe not this road in particular, but basically this road, maybe a bit to the west, so they could actually start moving up their tank and infantry divisions up this road without fear of exposure to the east from elements from this peninsula. So that's sort of it really. Now it's fairly specific, and I'm not sure that I really sort of done it perfectly well because I haven't played it yet, and I was going to play the other one first, but I don't know which one I want to play first. I'm going to take this one as the easy option. Now the problem with this one is that these engineers, they're engineers, but they're not Marines, but they are Marine engineers. So unless I go in there and add a brand new category of Marine engineers, they can't go across water. So I have to start them in the water so that you can land them there or there. Yeah, they can't actually land there like that. I should maybe put one there and one there so you can choose whether you land in there. Now they've got mines all along here and barbed wire, tank traps, etc. also along here. I haven't put them in here because I figured they probably wouldn't really be able to mine the the dock as readily. I mean, don't say it wasn't defended when we've got the barbed wire and things, but these are beaches, and one of the things that these engineering units did, they landed at the beach to determine the density of the mines there and sort of do some clearance. So the way I envisage it, you've got two, and the reason I've done that is so that you can go into one place. Gives you a bit of flexibility to what you do on the first turn. Really, there should only be one company, and it should be the 26th the 26th Armored Engineer Squadron. So there shouldn't really be two counters, but I've given you two so that you can do two things on the first turn. So you might want to land in that hex and clear both items out. or you might want to land in this hex and clear both items out. It's quite straightforward, but it does actually have a little more to it. So essentially they enter in there. I've sort of written it down here, we won't go through that. They come in here, and but they do whatever they do with the beach. Then these Marine Expeditionary Units, who are basically their role in the army to some extent, if you look on their website, because they've actually got a website for themselves, is pretty much to set up beachheads, but not just sort of like conventional beachheads. They basically prepare landing sites for the following armed fighting forces, so to speak. So it's interesting to maybe look at what they do. But when they land, they find that the fighting is a bit intense, and so they call in some artillery, and there's some British Royal Artillery. So that we're going to assume that they will call them in on turn 3. So what this is, the reason we got some varied deployment on this, is to reflect sort of when things happened. Now this artillery is probably already in there. Now I've put it in, I think, here. I originally put it here, then I put it there, and now I've put it here. It was on Bunyan Island, I can remember that name. And then you get 3 of them, so I've put them here in this scenario, but really I should maybe put one of them over here to reflect that. So that's not quite exact. But they come in here, and then they retreat a little bit because the fire is fairly intense, and then they call in this artillery unit to sort of come in and fire, and then they get in this armour, and they only have 2 tanks by giving them a company, because of units. They get much smaller than that. So then you get another company, and I'm not sure where they land actually, because I'm not sure where I put them. I'm guessing that I'll have to put them in this waterway here somewhere. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, so they basically start off in this waterway. It's all a bit odd that they start in the waterway because they basically can't come across here. So it's just a sort of way of introducing them. And I could put them in as units that you airdrop. But that would be stupid because you could just put them anywhere on the map. So they've got a sort of in theory, have come from here. And so they start to sort of engage, and then later on, well, the thing is they clear out these units, and so the battle is actually quite short, and they manage to clear these units out. And then the following day, they start to receive sniper fire from Iraqi units that are also in there. So basically, they've got these sort of, well, snipers who are still in the town, so it's not clear. It's not what you call, I don't know, when they say they've cleared the place, they haven't done it. And that fighting goes on for 2 days, and that's represented in this instance by these Iraqi irregulars. Now there's quite a long while between them, so you might spend, if you've completed all the first part of the turn by turn 7, you might find that you're flicking through quite a few turns in order to get to that stage, but then again it might take you that long to do that, so I'm not sure how well balanced that is. But basically you've got to wait until turn 14 for the next part of the game, and then in response to the sort of these Iraqi irregulars that appear, they bring in 2 British Harriers. Not 2 squadrons. They don't even have a squadron, but I've given them 2 squadrons just for the hell of it. Not so much for the hell of it, but to sort of to represent the sort of, to interpret that into the game in a meaningful way. Because if I just had 1, they're not very powerful in their own right, and basically they manage to pretty much sort of deal with the situation. But the thing is, the Marine Expeditionary Units, they have to leave because they're due to go somewhere else, and so then they are relieved by the 42 Commando, and I don't know whether it's sort of company A, C and D, whoever it is, but so these units are to relieve these ones, so when these arrive these should go, and and that sort of happens later on. So I'm going to sort of, I'm not really into playing it quite at the moment, but I'm going to do two things here. I'm going to sort of experiment on something that I thought might work. I don't think I can do mine clearance on the first turn. No, he's got to sit there. I don't think I can move along the waterway. No, I can't. No, definitely not. So there's really not much choice, really. So they both move into these hexes. Now, the Marines, this is something that I thought, that I was thinking, why don't they just land in the city? Well, the reason being that, well, to start off with, do they have the movement? I wonder. Yes, and I've committed him now. And that might not have been a good move, because now these guys are over here. Ah, he's gone. Oh, look at that. Look how great my game is, because I'm not committed now. I didn't know there were mines in there, and now I'm not going to do that move. That's so good. Now, there's no harm in me, so I'm going to leave both these units here, waiting for these mines to be cleared. I've put this guy in here. I sort of half wanted to see whether he can move in there, but now I'm sort of stuck with that, because I can't undo it. So I expect to possibly be attacked here, but let's see what happens. So the Iraqis, what could they possibly do? Well, I think there's really only one thing that comes down to being the worst, and that would be to attack with everything onto that. Now this guy's got no more movement, so he's worth 4 in light urban, puts him up to 8, and they've got 6, so they'll be at 1 to 2. So they can't really attack. Now I'm not going to do that 1 to 2 attack for two reasons. A, I think it's a bit, it's a bit tight. I don't, but if it doesn't make a lot of sense. But the thing is, it makes sense with regards to the constraints of the scenario. They were in a defensive role, but that's, they've got quite a lot there. Perhaps they don't have this, so that would be a 1 to 1. But the thing is, what I'm trying to get to here is, I can use the attrition rule, which is quite new, and see what happens there. So there was no, wasn't successful, but there you go. So now the thing is, if I'd sort of known that, my first move, I think, if that had been what they'd done, would maybe to go there. Well, they won't be able to cross the river unless what they do is build a bridge, which is actually one of the things I did think about when I set this up. So if you put them both in the same hex, the next turn, because it's obviously the next turn now, these guys, well, they can do mine clearance, clear mines, get rid of all this other stuff. Oh no, you can build bridges. I could build a bridge right now across into this enemy hex, but I'm not. I'm going to clear the minefield. Now it's density 0. And there's no mines in there now. So they've cleared the minefield. I should have put this other guy in there and built a bridge, but it doesn't matter. The Marines can just go straight over. So they're both in there, but can they attack? No, because they're fighting across the river, which makes sense. So, but they have moved, so reload. That's what I was looking for. So they're now in there. With no more movement left. That's because they've got no more movement left because there were the barbed wire and the entrenchments, etc. Now he's in there. Now he himself can't attack, but he's going to do an attrition against this unit. Did I I don't think I selected him. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I noticed that the video sort of cut out, so I don't know where. But they've sort of done their move. The engineers can't really do much for another 6 turns. The Marines have just moved in, so it's the end of their turn. Right, now I don't know what to do, because this hex is vulnerable, so I can move from there to there. If I stay there, they'll probably move there. If I move there, it presents a reasonable line, but then I'm open. Now I'm not sure whether there's too many Iraqi units here, but I'm going to move there, although maybe I didn't want to do that. And I'm going to engage in attrition there. So I'll press the attack button. No, so no success of any attrition so far. And he's going to carry out some attrition on this engineering unit, which he can't. Okay. You can't do that because it's over the river. Okay. So now, can the Marines attack into there? They can't because it's across the river, but they're Marines, so that's something I'm going to have to sort out. So, for the time being, why can't the Marines move over there? Come on there. Okay, I've spent probably about 4 minutes making some changes, which is pretty effective or efficient. And hopefully 2 things should now work. Now I'm not going to, well, I've already moved this unit here, so it's not ideal. But I should be able to attack. Look at that, I can attack over the river now. But I've moved this unit out, so I can't get him in on that attack. But what I can also do, yes, both the things I did worked, but they're both at 0 movement because they moved into barbed wire. Now these guys could sort of start moving now, but they're going to sit there because they want to recover. Maybe start building bridges. Okay, so here comes. So they've been exchanging fire, and it's a bit tough. They're having a bit of a tough time, so the artillery's been called in. Now, they're sort of no longer afraid there, so they're going to move back here, and it's a bit of a tough cookie, but they're going to commit everything. Well, they can't do that, can they? So 8, 16. So there's no way they're going to attack. Unsuccessful. Okay. So in that turn, I mean, they're presenting a resistance against this 15 Marine Expeditionary Unit, but coalition forces now have their artillery. Let's see what that can do. The first damage, the first damage of the war. Well, obviously the battle has happened already elsewhere over at Al-Faw, or wherever it is, Al-Faw. However, what the Iraqi player failed to notice was my natural inclination to attack this hex, which is why I fired at that hex. Okay, well, I messed up a bit there, but it's going to be worth 6. It's going to be worth possibly a 2 to 1. I should have put that artillery in there. Oh! Oh god. Attack or retreat. You know what I didn't figure out? You know what I didn't figure out? They're 12 because they're also dug in. They're in built up, so that's 6, but they're also dug in. That doubles them to 12. Fortunately, I had space to retreat. That could have been bad, and I don't think they, in reality, I don't think they lost. Now I've got 2 depressions. I'm determined to recover from those. So that probably represents their first painful bite against these units because they didn't find it easy. So, what do the Iraqis want to do? Well, I think the first thing they would sort of want to do is to it looks like they're actually entrenched, not dug in. Okay, I think they're just going to sit there. I'm tempted to move in there. Now he retreated into a minefield. Now I haven't got the rules to stop that at the moment, or to determine the damage, but this guy are entrenched, but this guy is not even dug in, so he's going to move there. So these guys are actually entrenched, so they're worth doubled. Being dug in is only 1.5, so he's going to move there, and that stops him from sort of actually moving in here. So it's now getting pretty involved. Now they're not going to move because I want to recover, but we've got this, and we're going to go for that unit there. .9, and that was the one that was hit last time as well. So we're in that turn. Now fortunately we're in a fairly good defensive position there, so all the Iraqis can really do is attrition. And they were successful. Look at that, 0.2 against these units. So they basically just hammered them, and they're continuing to hammer them in there as they whatever, you know, hide, whatever, recovering. Okay, so they're going to spend another turn recovering anyway. Now they're going to have to spend another turn. They've got that 0.2, which is a pain. But we're going to get some more artillery down on that. Causing another 2.7. So now this unit is at now half strength. But we're still going to recover. And now we've got some armour coming in. So the Iraqi player is just going to sit there and do another attrition roll. Which is unsuccessful. Okay, now they've got a 0.2 depression now because they're recovered. Now that's a bit of a pain. I'd like them to be fully prepared, but that's all they can really do. Now these engineers, they're still not available for engineering operations. He didn't do any mine clearance, did he? It's been available for all this time. I don't know. It's okay. Let's just see whether we can get rid of one of these units with some artillery. No effect. Okay. 3-to-1 DR. Well, that was a bit of luck. So with the armour, we've managed to actually make some ground. And we're not going to go into the minefield. And he's fully recovered, so he's going to go there, but moving there puts him down to 0 movement because it's barbed wire. Okay. The Iraqi player is going to try and an attrition roll against these tanks, which was unsuccessful. Okay. Let's go for some artillery against this stack. Okay, so he's on 0.3, and he's pretty much knackered now. So we could. Now one of them in there on his own is going to be worth 12, as we figured out before. The other one is going to be worth nothing, basically, because he's almost at depression 10. So let's say it's about 12. It's going to be slightly over. So we got 12 attack strength there, plus 6. So it'll be a 1-to-1. So it'll be 12, 18, plus 1.8. So it still won't be 24. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave that for a bit. But what I'm actually going to do with this guy, because I should have done it before, is clear these mines out. I just forgot to do that. Doesn't really matter. This guy, now this is not in the sequence of play, is available, so I'm going to build a bridge. And there's now a bridge there. Yep, look at that, there's a bridge. It worked. He's got no movement left though. And then he cleared the mines, so okay. So that's the end of that turn. So it's pretty heavy going, really. The Iraqi player is going to see that they really can't. He's worth 10 in defence, and I really don't have that much. Be a 1-to-2 attack. Try an attrition roll. No, unsuccessful. Okay, so this artillery is going to continue to pound against these units. That's more like it. So he's now at 2.4. His engineering unit can now move across the river. And this guy can move into there, building the numbers up. It's nearly another 15 minutes. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish this. In that turn. And the Iraqi player is obviously, just like in the real world, or in the real situation, not having the easiest of time. Having the easiest of times with it, but they're definitely holding their ground. Okay, it's coming up to 15 minutes. I might do another one, but maybe not. See you later, bye. Okay, I'm going to have another little go. Got so many things to do, I can't really afford to do this. I wonder if the border is marked. I think it is. Just on the other side. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with the way this battle is going. The Marine Expeditionary Units having a bit of a tough time of it, but they did have a tough time of it historically, in the sense that they had to sort of pull back for the armour to come in and support them, and then they went in. We've done damage, and we've done it methodically, and you know, one of these units is 12.2 depression, which means it doesn't exist, and the other one is now 2.4, and he's no depressions, but this guy is no longer entrenched for some reason. Perhaps he made the mistake of something or other. Did they attack? I don't know. Why is he no longer entrenched? Oh well. Whose turn is it? This is the Iraqi turn, and they've moved. So, start off with the artillery against here. Now he's no longer entrenched, but someone is dug in. Or it could be that the entrenched unit is on top of the dug in unit is on top of the entrenched one. Although they're both PNG alpha file images, so I would be able to see them both. So 2.8. So that's 5.2. So there's pretty much nothing left in there now. Now let's have a quick look at what they've actually got. First unit dug in 3. Second unit dug in 18. So this one is entrenched. You just can't see him. It just doesn't look like it. So they're going to be worth about 6 in there now. So I would be worth about 20, so maybe about 4 to 1. Now, these engineering units can help in the battle. You won't be able to fire this turn, but I'm taking a gamble here because I don't really want to spend too much time thinking about it. My brain hurts. Let's just attack them. I think it's going to be about 4 or 5 to 1. 3 to 1 DR. So I got it. I might have messed up a bit there, but I said about 6, but I was a bit out there. It was on 6.9, and I said about 20, but I was a bit higher because basically I think the armour had a almost a 1.5 or maybe a 1.7 advantage. So, but it's that, I think it's that 0.9 that made a lot of difference, because I had to get, 4 over that. So what was that? 7, 14, 28. So it was quite a lot shy of 4 to 1. But I got the DR, which forces them out of their entrenchments, which basically means they're on the run. Plus it's a successful move and a successful die roll, which means we've now pretty much got this unit out in the open, capable of nothing. This one is pretty much good to go as well. There's only one more good unit left, and we can move in. Now they don't have any more movement after that, so that was good. So the Iraqis really aren't up to much now. I think in order to, they're going to stay there because they actually get some defence from this barbed wire, and the minefields I think help as well. They'll give them, actually being in a minefield gives you a lot of, I think it's, the attacker is down 25% when they attack through barbed wire, and down 50% through a minefield, so that would be doubled that, so it's quite a lot. I can't even think what 25% and all that is, but it all adds up. But again, we're going to try the, and it's not going to do anything, but try the attrition. Unsuccessful. That's it. So it's now the coalition turn, and obviously they're going to carry out airstrikes here. Alright, artillery fire here. Point 1. Brilliant. They're actually in barbed wire, which is going to make the attack even harder. There was no barbed wire in here. Oh, that's because that's because that is the objective there. That is the objective hex. So we're at 25% reduced effectiveness into that hex. Okay, well instead of what I'm going to do actually is move into this hex. These people are no longer going to provide any significant resistance. I'm just going to, with a laissez-faire attitude, attack them. Look at that, 6-1 DE. I'm not going to attack into there, or should I? Yeah, I mean I can't lose really because I don't have to move in there. That shouldn't be like that, but no worries. 7-1 DE. So it's all now going as it did, getting rid of the Iraqi defenders. Now they're not even going to, there's not even really any point in them trying to do any attrition even. But I suppose we might as well. I mean, by this point they could surrender. And that is the next turn. Okay. 2.2, so they're on their way. The Iraqis not even bother with attrition. More artillery. .2, so now down to 2.5. I might as well try their attrition here. The weakest link, unsuccessful. In their turn. .8, 5.3. I'm just going to attack it now. I was sort of wanting to wait until I can get the full surround. But I think that's a bit childish, because I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get the odds. Oh, you know, I should have waited till I got the full surround. Wow. An exchange. Well, the Iraqis will be happy with that, and they've got the insurgents coming in now. These are basically the snipers. It's going to be like a 1 to 2, I think. And in exchange, well, they can afford that. That's what they're for. We've got this one now here. He's up at depression 2. Should have done that with 2 units. Another exchange, so he's now at depression 3. Well, that works. What to do? Embarrassing. Right, well, I'm going to get this around because I want to finish this guy. He can't survive that. DE. Now I'm going to deal with some of these sniper units. Oh, attack and retreat. That's a mess. Doesn't seem to have retreated then. Oh, I know what happened. I don't know. Maybe the retreat rolls didn't work. Maybe he retreated to there and he retreated to there. It doesn't make any sense because they should have retreated to there. It could be that retreat rolls on attack and retreat aren't the same as the retreat rolls for other things. Ah, because the retreat rolls on attack and retreat do not have as much bearing on DR retreat roll because it's you are the attacker. That's interesting. They basically retreated to each other's hexes. They could both equally as well have retreated there. So another mess. I'm being a bit anxious now. 3 to 1, an exchange. Well, we've at least got a perimeter, or at least a line. And we've got enough movement to get these engineers into there. And they can demine it when they're available. They're going to go a mass attack against this unit. It should be about 2 to 1, at a guess. 2 to 1, DR, beating the Marine Expeditionary Unit back into there. They're all going to stack up into there. Which is convenient because now I didn't do it just for that, but that is very convenient. Okay. Going to demine that area, which is pretty critical really. So that's demined, but this unit is going to move into there, which might not be ideal. And I'm going to do a massive attack. Four to 1 DR. Okay, we're only 15 seconds left. I think we're going to basically beat them, but a couple of embarrassing losses towards the end. We still haven't got our air power on yet, so that will happen next, and then we'll really pummel those irregulars in. So, speak later, bye. Okay. Oh look, I think there's a border missing there. I think I'm going to give it one more go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's out of range, out of artillery range. So that's coalition forces. I think we just... Movement 0. Movement 1. Yeah, not enough movement to sort of continue, but... Going to plug that there. No movement. No movement. Well, I'm going to put him there. No, that's pointless. I'll just have to risk it. Okay. So, they're not exactly particularly damaged. Depression 1, low depressions, depression 1.9, so they're going to go for another attack here. Now they were a pain. This unit's on depression 4, so he's actually pretty knacked. That was an exchange with a bad die roll, but they had a good chance. So he's depression 5 now. They are irregular, so they're sort of designed to just sit there. But now we've got in, this is one of the reasons I wanted to take this extra turn. Basically because we've now got the Harriers coming in, and they will damage the irregulars. And so what I envisaged happening was I'll probably come in, do no damage at all. Well, better than nothing. 3.5, 3.5, 2.1, and I'll get those for a couple more turns, I think. And what I'm also going to do is bump that up. This is what I wanted to do the previous turn. I'm not going to attack them. That's a pretty good defensive position, because now he's worth... They might be able to get it against the artillery. Basically, he's more than 5. They're worth 6. So they're more than 5, and he's worth 5. So they might be able to attack him, but he's fairly well whatevered. So we'll leave that turn. So it's really down to, he can't attack him, he can't attack that, because there's 6. Although it's complete, isn't it? Not literal. So he's going to have another go at that. Huh. DR. And why not? It's fairly unbelievable, really, but that was, you know, this is not an overwhelming victory. I mean, they will win. Just take our artillery back in there. Well, not at that rate. It's a bit better. Okay, we're going to defend that. Defend that. Defend that. Right. So he's got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And he's got 8. No depressions. 5 depressions. So he's going to be worth probably about 6. So he's not going to be able to attack either of them. But he's recapturing Umm Qasr. he has no option other than to sit there and take more air power. I'm not going to attack him this time because I want to A, recover some of these suppression factors, and B, see what this air power can do, because it's got to start taking effect. You know, it'll all add up. It's not brilliant, but 4.95, 3.5, 3.25 doesn't seem to be adding up. Okay, let's just do it. Well, do the artillery first, because he's now back in artillery range, which is something I forgot. Ah, you see, he made the fatal mistake of going back into artillery range. I'm not going to split up. Oh! Oh! Look at that. We've got a relieving force. They're going to be relieved. So these units which are knackered are going to be relieved. We'll have to wait till they get there. So we're just going to sit there, wait for the relief, I think. Here come the Marines, 42. Which means now that these guys can withdraw. Now he doesn't want to withdraw on his own. So I'm going to move everyone around. Bring in the artillery. .15, 5.75. But the air power's gone. That was all the air power we had. And we still haven't taken it. It's the Iraqi turn. 3.15, 5.75, 3.95. They're just going to sit there and recover. I think they're recovering like completely. I think they're just recovering, which is frustrating. Okay, the Marine Expeditionary Unit is going to start withdrawing across the river. I'm going to fire in now. 0.95. I'm going to attack. Fresh units. Worst dice roll ever. Oh god. What have we got in there? Depression 1. So there's not going to be any 6s, but they're just holding in. Just holding out. Artillery. 1. exchange. That's 2 12s in a row. And they're just going to sit there. It's their town. They're not giving it up. Now they're entrenched. Now they're dug in. Artillery. At least the artillery's not stuffing. 1.4, 5.2, 3.852. They're just recovering. DR. Well, that will keep him out of there. Wow, there's just a couple of little things that went wrong. But they changed everything. Oh, that's the Iraqi player, so we'll end their turn. They're going to stay there. .3. DE, but he retreated. DE, and he retreated. Okay, I'm not going to follow that because I don't want to lose my stacking. They're going to hang in. They're out of artillery range now. I'm doing it like this because I'm hoping that he'll retreat. DE. Not the best move. Okay. And on that note, I think the Iraqis are going to retreat because they're just going to keep getting pounded. And that's it. We've only got a minute left. A bit disappointed with that last quarter because I sort of felt that I maybe messed a few things up or just didn't go right. I mean, I got a couple of 12s when I shouldn't have. You know, the damage on some of these units was just sort of not really. I think it was a bit of a, my fault. Yeah, but interesting game. I'll have to stitch these together. If you think you can do better, then sign up and have a go yourself. Okay, speak to you later. Cheers, bye.